Hello and welcome to Inside the Hoop. Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the Hoop. Today is June 13th, 2024. I'm Kim Christopherson, and I've got some friends here with me today, Deanna Lindley.
Hello,
and Kimberbell's Chief Marketing Officer, Jayme Shepherd.
Hello, it's so great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, we are thrilled
Welcome.
to have you. I know you've been on some of the What's New Wednesdays before, but I'm happy to have you on the set today to talk about pumpkins and potions.
Yes.
Oh, it's a fun one, a new release from Kimberbell, and we've got lots to talk about, don't we?
We do. It's an exciting product. So.
Yeah. Before we jump into that, though, why don't we go ahead and tell our viewers a little bit about what you do here at Kimberbell, how long you've been here, and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, yes, I've been at Kimberbell for about 8 years. So 2016 was the year I started, and we were a small group, just kind of getting off the ground for Kimberbell. And so I've done things from social media to photography, product sourcing, managing inventory. Oh gosh, I don't know.
You did it all.
So many things.
And creating a whole lot of beautiful products.
Yeah.
Including you were a pivotal, had a pivotal role in creating the Bella Box.
Yes.
Yep.
Which was a game changer for Kimberbell too.
It was fun. That was my baby. That was one of the very first, it was the first kind of subscription box that we did, it was fun. It was really fun. So I'm sad to not be as involved in that anymore, but it's exciting when it comes out. It's like Christmas all over again.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and most recently, you played a big role in the creation of Quilting Through the Seasons, and then now
Our
Pumpkins
first
and
ladder
Potions.
quilt.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm excited. Ladder quilts have been a fun project. They're a little bit easier to, get into as opposed to a bigger quilt. And so many fun ways to style them, which we're going to talk about today.
Yes, exactly.
So tell us a little bit about the first ladder quilt that came out from Kimberbell, and that is Quilting Through the Seasons. And I know we've got some images here to share as well. But talk us through how that came to be.
Yeah, so Quilting Through the Seasons, well, we first kind of started off by wanting to be able to do a quilt project that was a little bit different in size, not our typical larger quilt or a 40 by 40. And so, everyone has a ladder, it seems, for all of their fun, cozy quilts. And we thought, what new fun way could we have to display a Kimberbell quilt? And so the ladder was a great option. Besides that, you could put it on a door, you can put it on just on any wall, a small space if you've got a smaller apartment or a smaller, like a tiny house. Those are a big deal right now, so a great place for that. But it's just a fun project. And then we loved the interactivity of Quilting Through the Seasons and being able to kind of put that aesthetic and make it come to life with, all the interactivity. So.
Well, yeah, and with that quilt, the idea was that you only had to make the base of it once, and then you switched out the different elements for the different seasons. And our Kimberbellas and fellas out there have embraced this.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take a look at a few of their images for some inspiration there. Oh, yeah. See, I love that. It looks like that was done in a hallway, or is that a door there? Either way, it would look both. It would look great
Just
in
that
both
little
places.
small space where you don't, it looks like a wall.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just a small place, a little bit harder to decorate, but it looks good there. And it's great because you can have it up all year. You just change out those pieces every season.
Well, and we work so hard on these quilts that, sometimes with, when you do a seasonal quilt, it's a lot harder to take it down because you just love it so much.
You spent so much time on
Quilting
it.
Through the Seasons is great because you can leave it up all year long and make it fresh for every season.
Yeah, I love
definitely. Definitely. And I love just even how this one was taking the blocks from Quilting Through the Seasons, and what once was a ladder quilt has now been reconfigured into a square, probably about 40 by 40 quilt, as I can tell from that.
Make it into a smaller quilt.
Yeah, so
She already had the space set aside.
She
and
made it work for her space.
I love that.
Absolutely.
And I think we have another image here.
Yeah. Oh, yes, the one where she put photos of her family in the frame.
I thought that was so cute. Really personalize it. You could switch those out. You could do them for birthdays or Just
Oh, that's so cute. Look at that cute family.
yeah. For the different seasons, you could do seasonal pictures, whatever seasons
Oh my
are
gosh,
involved
think
in that time.
Christmas
PJs.
PJs, right?
So
And
cute.
putting,
Or like
you
kids
know,
with Easter
that-
baskets in the spring.
Oh my
or I love
gosh.
this. This looks
Yeah.
like a summer beach one. So
Well, and it's really
great idea.
an heirloom quilt, right? So you're
Yeah.
going to remember this quilt. I know things of my grandma's that we always looked forward to having her up every year, having
Yeah.
her put up every year. We just were so excited, and it's memories that we always want to come back to. So
I love that.
So that was definitely the start of the size of a ladder quilt, that 20 by 60.
Yep.
But now we're heading into fall in a few months, and it's time to get out the pumpkin
Yes.
types of quilts, or
Yes.
at least start
Start
working
working
on
on
them,
them, for
right?
sure,
And
yeah.
so that's what we're doing with pumpkins and potions.
Right. Well, Jayme, one question that we always get asked whenever
Yeah.
we launch a new product or something that's a little bit different than what we've done before, people always want to know, how do I style this? How do I display it? What can I do? You know, and
Yeah.
so that was one of the main reasons we wanted to bring you on
Yeah,
today,
well,
is to
thank
help us
you.
think of some ideas of ways
Okay.
that we can show this off.
yeah. Well, I mean, the options are endless, really. You know, there's so many great places. But I mean, just looking at the quilt, look how just beautiful it is, and all the fun things that you can do to create in your home.
Can we talk about some of the details
Yeah.
here for a minute?
That
look at these
chandelier.
fun beads on the chandelier, and then we added little crystals there for the lights. I love that.
So much fun. And then we do have the lights in here in this orange color around the
Yes.
31.
Oh my gosh. And what about these little potion bottles? Are you kidding me?
I know, aren't they
That
so
was
cute?
so fun.
Well, even just the little sayings. I've heard lots of people say, I can't remember what the quilt was called, but I remember the keep calm and carry a wand.
Right.
Yeah, so
Exactly right.
And then you're learning new techniques with a
Three-dimensional.
quilt like this with the dimensional lace bats.
yeah.
It's all just really, really over the top cute, isn't it? And of course, you know, styling it, I think that your first thought is, well, it's a ladder quilt, style
Yeah.
it on a ladder.
Right.
But how do you decide on what kind of ladder? What's the size? What's the color?
Yeah.
What would you suggest?
Well, as far as the ladder goes, you're going to want to look for a wider ladder. So something that's at least 20 inches wide. But this quilt is a 20 by 60, so you're going to want to make sure that you've got a good ladder. And you can do a search online for wider ladders, and they're pretty easy to find. And with, you know, that, you just want to look at what types of decorations you already have in your house and what kind of style of ladder that you would want to add. So,
Okay.
for example, if you've got, you know, more of a farmhouse feel in your house, you want to do a more rustic ladder, or,
Yeah.
you know, just different things like that. It's also
Wood.
fun to mix and match
Yeah,
the woods as well. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's, of course, definitely the first idea, ladder. Okay,
Yeah.
but what
Yeah.
else?
So the other thing you could think about doing is just on a big wall that you might have, style it next to a cute table with a bunch of fun decorations. And so one thing that I thought would be fun would be to, you know, you see with these bats that we've got on the quilt, make some extras and have them just flying off the quilt.
Flying off the quilt
Yes.
onto the wall.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, I
so
have
cute.
seen
Such
that
a great
before.
idea.
Stylized in like magazines and
Yeah.
such. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun
Oh,
thing
I love
to do.
that.
And then, of course, with Halloween, like, you can go outside and just grab, you know, it's that time of year where everything's kind of dying, so you can go cut branches and stick them in a vase, and, you know,
Yep.
it fits perfectly with the theme of Halloween. So it's a great way to do that.
Well, and you definitely can't go wrong with stylizing it with a little bit of candy, maybe some pumpkins right there
Right.
too. That would be a fun way to put that together
Yeah.
in a little wall setting, right?
That's right. Yep.
Maybe a little table right
Yep.
there by it.
Yeah, here's
Yes.
another fun way. So at the top or the bottom of the stairs is always a great place that you can put this quilt. See, the long skinny is just perfect because it fits in so many great places.
Right.
And so really you put it up and it shines on its own, but add a few little things to it with a plant or, you know, a few pumpkins and some cauldrons, and you've got that space set and ready to go.
Right.
Well, it's kind of one of those odd places too, right? It's just not quite large enough for a wide quilt, but certainly, you know, that length of the quilt fits perfectly right there.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, what other kinds of odd
Yeah.
places are there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
that you
So,
can do.
yeah, on a door, on a pantry door would be perfect, or a
yes.
closet door. So,
Yeah,
I think
really
a pantry
cute.
door is really fun because, you know, it's in the kitchen, you've got the
Yeah.
candy all around. So, one way to hang that up is with, you can get like your wreath hangers.
Oh, yeah.
And one tip here is that you can get some of those, the more inexpensive wreath hangers, and they bend really easy. So you can change the height of it to fit your space a little bit more easy.
Yeah, because
And
sometimes with those wreath hangers, they're down a little bit lower on the door so that
Right.
that wreath is more centered, not at the tippy top. Whereas
Yeah.
that wouldn't work as well for this type of quilt. So
Yeah, a
getting
little
something,
higher.
that you can have it fit where you would like it to. That's a great idea. I like that.
Yep. And the quilt also comes with the ribbons on the back, so you can attach those, or the ties on the back. So another way you could tie those two together, bring them up to and tie a bow and hang it off of one hook. That would be another way that you could do the quilt. And
you don't have to hang
it
it by its two separate ties. I like the idea of bringing it together as one big bow.
You can make a pretty big,
Cute.
bows are all the thing right now.
Yep,
so
all the
you
rage.
could make a huge bow on the top of there and it would be perfect.
Yeah, I like that. So many different ways to do it.
Okay.
Okay, we are back for a live demo. We have Jayme here who is going to talk all things how to set up a cute little vignette with your pumpkins and potions ladder quilt.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple of things that you may or may not know. One thing to start when we're styling a ladder quilt, or anything really, is to set in groups of threes. Everything always looks better in threes. And even if you want to expand on that in odd numbers, right? You always want to have an odd number of items when you're setting up a little display or a vignette. Also, a couple of other things, if you notice, we've got different heights. So obviously our quilt is the focal point, the pumpkins and potions.
And then you've
focal
got
point.
number 2,
Yep.
number 3, right?
Right, you've got the different
Okay.
heights here. A couple of other things, as you'll notice, is the texture. So we've got the fun texture on the quilts and in the pumpkins here in this cauldron. And this fun idea is just it's a plastic cauldron that you can get during Halloween time. We've just kind of stuck some different pillows in the bottom to make it feel a little bit fuller, but you can use it as a blanket, a place for your blankets for Halloween. And then, of course, match your blankets to
Oh my
things that are
gosh,
on the
look
quilt.
at that. Yes.
Plaid blanket,
The plaid blanket matches the plaid blocks on the quilt. I love it. And it just brings in
Perfect.
all the same colors, doesn't it?
It does. And a couple other things you could do also, if you're kind of more of a neutral person, and maybe this is a really, all the pops of oranges, maybe a little bit out of your comfort zone, but you love it. Take all these things that you're styling with it and make them neutral. So blacks or whites or things like that.
Some grays.
Creams and grays. That would be really
It'd be
pretty.
fun. And then your quilt, of course, will just stand out. And
Well, what
it'd be
about like
beautiful.
throwing in a little pop of purple in there or something?
hey.
Would that work?
Yeah.
Even if it's not in the quilt?
Yeah, it could work. You
Yeah.
just would want to balance it out. So if you put like a purple pumpkin here, you might want to
Yeah.
do, maybe it's a little purple twig or something like
sure.
that. So
Or
you just
maybe you
wanna have
could do
balance.
some purple twinkle lights
Oh,
in
that'd
your
be
tree.
cute.
Ooh, I like it. Yeah.
That's a great idea. I love that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then, of course, lots of fun things on this quilt. I don't know, what is your favorite block on this quilt, Kim?
Oh my gosh. It has to be.
You have to pick just one.
I know, really. I mean, I love the ghosts because if you could see these up close, like there is a layer of like a gauze fabric over the top of it. And of course, that comes in the embellishment kit. So that makes it really fun when you see that up close. But then you can't go wrong with the dimension, right?
Yes.
The dimension that happens with this chandelier.
The little crystals.
These little crystals and beads are all part of that embellishment kit. And that, I think, is just so over the top cute. But I don't know. What about you, Deanna?
My goodness, okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
I know, right?
You know what? I'm going back to the ghosts. Like, I love these down here.
Yeah.
I love that they're kind of going different ways. I love that there's embroidery on the ghost, so
Yeah,
it's not
little
just the plain,
floral.
but just simple, just enough to pull in a little bit of color.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, can I say a second one?
Well, we have to, because nobody can choose just one.
I gotta say a second one. How about these pumpkins and potions bottles? So look at the spooky potion there. It's got some glitter there inside
vinyl, yeah.
the vinyl, and then like the little there's little.
Is it confetti?
Is it pumpkin
Yeah, they're-
and ghosts?
Yeah, pumpkins and ghosts.
Right?
They're just little polymer clay beads, so they're just
Oh,
really thin, but they give some
gosh.
really fun dimension.
Oh
You can
my
put those in there.
goodness. Well, and then I'm gonna reach up
Yeah.
here, but look at this, guys.
Look at
There's
the
little
background.
spiders
Oh,
that are
yeah.
in this one. That is so cute. It says fresh spider cider. Come on.
Love it.
So as
Love
I
it.
picture styling a quilt like this, I could see also putting maybe a little side table next to it.
And doing
then
some glass bottles or
exactly
something.
thinking about, those potion bottles on the quilt, putting some glass bottles and filling
Yeah.
it with all kinds of
You could
fun
do like
yeah.
different
stuff.
colors, just use dye and dye it black or orange or whatever.
Oh,
Put a little
cute.
glitter in the bottle would be fun.
Yeah.
Another thing I just thought of when you were pointing out the spiders, and we'll even have spiders here, you could crawl some on the trees or even on the pumpkins here
Pumpkins, yeah.
to add a little bit more
Do
dimension.
you like that?
Well, and really, I mean, I think these twigs were purchased at a store, but you could just go out to your backyard, find some, and spray paint
That
them
time
black,
of year, you're
right?
usually trimming branches anyway,
Exactly.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of fun ideas. So you have this on a gold frame. So again, a different way of displaying this rather than just a ladder or just on your wall.
Right.
This is a great way to show it off for sure.
Well, and just depending on what the, the style of your home is. You know, if you have a more modern feel in your house.
yeah, this frame feels more modern, doesn't
Right,
it?
right.
Yeah, I love it. Well, and I think the color palette of this is neutral enough that it's going to coordinate with just about anyone's home, yet it obviously brings in the Halloween vibe as
Absolutely.
well.
Absolutely.
Wow, I love that. Thank you so much, Jayme, for coming on with all those ideas.
It was so much fun. I'm excited to see what all of you create with your pumpkins and potions ladder quilts.
Yes.
Absolutely. And all the different areas and nooks and crannies of your home, where to display it, we want to see it all, for sure. You know, and as I'm looking at this again, I'm thinking, you know what? If a ladder quilt isn't for you, if you're not looking for another wall hanging, these blocks are perfect for other kinds of things like table runners and bench pillows or smaller pillows. I mean, it really is a configuration you can work really easily into any type of other project, don't you think?
Yeah, it'd be great to piece out into a bunch of little mini quilts that you could put up in different places in the house too. So you can do so many fun things.
Possibilities are limitless.
I'm so excited. Love it. Love it all. Well, you know, we're going to continue this conversation into next week because we're going to be taking this pumpkins and potions ladder quilt, all quilts really, because we need to bind them in the end, right?
Absolutely.
So next week on Inside the Hoop, we're going to be talking about binding, all our tips and tricks. And, you know, if you've got questions on that, for
We
sure.
got you.
Yeah, we absolutely have you. Make sure and tune in for that. Of course, make sure you're also subscribed to the Kimberbell YouTube channel so that you never miss an episode. You'll always get a notice that something new is up and coming. We want to make sure that you see it all, right? So subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Facebook and Instagram so that you always not miss, so that you don't miss an episode of Inside the Hoop. All right, everyone. Until then, keep doing what you love and keep experiencing the joy of creativity. Bye-bye.